Greetings, ladies and gentlemen.
I love that. I love that logo.
Oh, of course. That's my childhood summed up in one sound effect right there, actually.
Yep.
They really should bring it back, though.
For nostalgia's sake, I agree. You know, it's like, you know how Sega's bringing in the classic Sega screen for the, Sonic Generations or Sonic 4. I agree. Like, if they were to, remake some classic Castlevania or Gradius or whatever was popular with Konami back in the days, I think they should bring that old logo back.
Bring it back for that whatever Contra game they're making.
So getting into that, actually. So we're playing Gradius 3 for the Super Nintendo.
Yay!
Which is a port of the original arcade release, 91, I believe. And needless to say, the port of the Super Nintendo is much more forgiving than the arcade port because the arcade port is fucking hell in shooter form.
I take it you know what you're doing here.
Yeah, I know it. And I always have one set up particular. But enough about that. Let's put in the Konami Code. And away we go!
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Don't input the Konami Code.
Yeah. If you put in the Konami Code as it originally was, you self-destruct. So instead of hitting left, right, you have to hit LR, LR. Then VA start. And then you're awarded with every single power-up in the game. Now, for all of you that are... I do not give a shit, because I am playing on the arcade difficulty, which is the most difficult difficulty setting in this game. Because, well, first off, the game originally has only 3 options for difficulty. There's easy, there's normal, and then there's hard. In order to... You have to do a cheat in order to arcade difficulty, which is... You highlight difficulty and that's the A button.
Sorry, what was the cheat? You cut out for a second.
Alright, in order to succeed a difficulty, you need to highlight the game and hit the A button and hit this. When you do it fast, the hard becomes arcade. It's the hardest setting in the game, but with it, you can get the best ending.
What ending is there? You destroyed the 8 enemies, the end.
But you get more to the ending. Because if you beat the game without a like on normal difficulty setting, you get the enemy dying, but that's it. You just go right to the credit sequence. When you beat the game in the arcade difficulty setting, you get to see the planet exploding, Vic Viper being just fine, and I
wasn't aware this series had characters.
Yeah. Not that there's not like any character development whatsoever in this game whatsoever. You're just a ship flying and shooting things. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, the good old
days. Like I was saying, I have no quarrels against using the Konami Code for this game, because I'll tell you one thing, even though the arcade difficulty is still nowhere near as hard as the original difficulty of the original arcade game, I cannot, and I'll gladly admit, I cannot beat this game on the arcade difficulty setting without using the Konami Code. I'm sorry. I just cannot. Because, I'll tell you one thing, when you first start out the game, and you don't have any power-ups, you're a big ass ship, you're completely exposed, that's a very painful 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Which would you rather play, Contra Super C without the Konami Code, or any cheats, or this without any cheats?
I would rather play Super C without any cheats.
I see.
Yeah. I don't know, I think I have an easier time with Super C, to be honest. But, and that was the first boss.
You cheating whore.
I don't give a shit.
Cheater.
I'll take your word for it, but it looked like a regular enemy to me.
Well, in addition to using the Konami Code, I'm also using the most broken weapon in the game, which is the energy laser, which you can charge up to, make really big fucking powerful shots. And they're really, really powerful, which is why I like 2-shot at that boss. But, like, in the arcade version, like, I'm not kidding, the arcade version of Gradius 3 is one of the hardest fucking shooters you can ever play. And it's not because it's like a... It's not like bullet hell or anything like that. It's just the level design is fucking hell. It's the shit it's not just the amount of bullets that get thrown at you. It's all kinds of enemies they throw at you too. Because remember, you don't have to worry. It's not just the enemy shots you have to worry about, but the enemies flying at you at 5,000 miles per hour.
Then again, there was no such thing as bullet hell back then, because every shooter game was hell then.
Yeah. But another thing that makes the Gradius, the Super Nintendo port a little easier, for better or worse, is the slowdown. Because Gradius 3 for the Super Nintendo has a fuck ton of slowdown, especially when you're charging weapons up like I'm doing right now. It's something that you can put to your advantage, especially when you have the energy laser. I actually think it's the only weapon in the game that causes the amount of slowdown that's going on right now.
You cheating whore.
But if you want to make the game a little more challenging, you can not use the energy laser, and you'll have everything coming at you at full speed. And again, I keep saying, I do not give a shit that I'm using the code. Don't give a shit whatsoever. You can make fun of me all you want. I don't care.
I shall. Bubbles. You have to use a cheat to beat Bubbles.
No.
Space bubbles.
Yep.
Space bubbles that will destroy your ship.
You're goddamn right.
Yeah, back in the old days when bubbles were damaging.
Honestly, I don't know why bubbles are damaging. I just assume they're really fucking dense.
They're space bubbles.
Yeah.
I only have one fond memory of Gradius 3. Like, I played it maybe 2 or 3 times when I was a kid. And I would say I got past the bubble area, and then I got killed. And this is without the cheats. Like, I didn't know about the Konami Code when I was, like, 8. I got past the bubble area, and then it's around, like, an asteroid-ish part that I got killed all the time.
Well, it's actually funny that you mentioned that, because that's exactly my, that's a summary of my arcade experience with Gradius 3. I got past the second level, and the third rebel just raped me.
Yeah.
But, anyway, that enemy that we saw flying past us that was making that really obnoxious siren noise was an option hunter, which is, the things that are surrounding your ship right now are called options, which pretty much acts as, another ship. When you're playing on the normal or hard or the arcade difficulty settings, they have those enemies will occasionally appear, usually at the worst fucking times ever, to try and steal one of your options. And I really, really fucking hate this boss on harder difficulties. Look at that, it took a hit, god damn it. Because I think in the harder difficulty section, this guy is fucking relentless. He always tries to collide with you. And if you're not fucking lucky, he's gonna run into you, and I really, really, really fucking hate that boss. In fact,
you made it look easy because you're a cheater.
No, actually, when I was playtesting this, I died there a lot. In fact, I'm gonna say the hardest part of the game is over. I really fucking hate that boss.
I noticed you aren't speeding up. Do you not like your ship going faster, or?
No, well, I got hit twice. One of my power ups that I chose at the beginning of the game was the reduce, which makes your ship tiny and really hard to hit. To me, it's the best possible shield option. Oh, god damn it!
Oh no!
You died. You died when you cheated.
Start over. Start over now. Okay.
You died and you still cheated.
Yep. Two options in this game. You have like 2 spherical light project shielding is only guards the really exposed and huge. And like the barrier, which is kind of it shield your big, and then you finally have one possible option. Because now you're really tiny and hard to hit, but you can take extra things. When you at the beginning of the game,
you're getting all spazzy again, Johnny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Give me.
No. At least we finally have a change in music.
I really love the game soundtrack. I love this soundtrack in German.
Woods in space.
Coming on down, but coming into me.
What?
I'm still coming in horror now.
Yep.
Oh, goddamn it. I hate this. Really fucking hate it.
Nope,
First
right.
Mega Man 6, not Gradius 3.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, good.
Are you still with us, Clement?
I am very much so. This is where I always died as a kid.
Had this jovial, awesome music.
Woo, we're gonna die!
Oh, perfect books. Damn it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love Super Nintendo music.
Yeah. I really do love this game's soundtrack. You know, alright, besides, well, what the funny thing mentioning is that I don't think the amount of enemies change between difficulty settings, but their speed definitely do. And their rate of fire. Towards the end of this game, the enemies are going to get really fucking fast.
Upside down space volcano.
Only in Gradius 3, my friends. Oh no, they were in Gradius 2, I think, or Salamander, I'm not sure. Actually, I'm going to go on to say that I'm really not familiar with Gradius as a whole. This is the only Gradius game I ever played beating the shit out of.
What do you mean you don't know? You fly around and you shoot shit.
No, I know it's the same kind of deal. But, you know, I never really got into... Like, the only other Gradius game I really played any amount of was Gradius Gaiden. I think that was for the Game Boy Advance, I'm not sure. But yeah, I never played Gradius 4 or 5. I've only recalled playing Life Force a little bit, or Salamander. This is the only game I ever really played and beaten the shit out of. And by the way, in arcade mode, you cannot destroy those golden boulders, and it's really fucking irritating if you uncover one during the middle of this section. In fact, what the hell am I shooting through?
Sand or something.
Space sand. Really advanced stuff.
Space sand. Yeah, but I know what you mean, Johnny. Like, I'm a good Castlevania gamer, but I couldn't tell you anything about the GBA ones, or I can't beat the NES ones all that well. Like, I can beat the first Castlevania, but 3 kicks my ass. I can't beat 2. I love Super Castlevania 4 to death. But there are games in Castlevania that I know to death, and then there are, like, every other game, which I don't really know anything about at all.
That rock will just not want to get out of the way.
Did you hear that background noise for a second?
Which one?
I heard a lot of background noise. At first I thought someone was commentating outside.
No, that was some motorcyclist going by my apartment.
This fucking pigeon won't leave me alone.
What about you and your possum?
What? Oh, that's a big gone. I got rid of that fucker. Actually, I got rid of that fucker the week you started posting commentary on the portal.
The one thing I want to know about Gradius, why don't they send an army of ships in? Why are they sending in this one guy?
This is the 90s where one super soldier does all the work for you.
Yeah, that's all you need. Well, that's all they could afford anyway.
Have you not watched every manly war movie from the 80s and 90s? You don't need an army, just one really tough dude.
Now we have the first part of this boss fight, which is, no matter what the difficulty setting, is really fucking easy.
Seems so.
And now the second part of the boss fight. This solid wall.
Solid wall?
Take that wall!
No, it's really this guy, who I really fucking hated as a kid. All because of this one attack right here.
Which attack?
That attack.
That's a cool
The lasers?
Yeah, that diamond laser formation there. I don't know why. I don't know why I had such a hard time as a kid dodging that fucking attack. But I did. Again, that's another series that I was introduced to through my uncle. In fact, my uncle introduced me to a lot of shit when I was a kid. You know, Zelda, Final Fantasy, Gradius, you name it. If I played a game, if I really love a series, it's most likely my uncle introduced me to it.